Hello and a good day to you. So, not many of you know this about me, but my mom's family tree actually traces up all the way to the Ding family in Quanzhou, China, aka the Muslim settlers that came along via the Silk Road. While I am personally not a Muslim, nor am I familiar with the Muslim communities in China, I am, however, familiar with one thing: food. And in this episode, I'm gonna bring you guys along to check out some halal foods from China that has since made its way to Singapore. Let's go. Right, so now I am at Suntec City for Tang Tip Lanzhou beef noodles. This is not their first outlet. In fact, I think when I first tried it, it was over at Chinatown Point, which was where I was working at last time. They now have quite a number of outlets around Singapore. I think Suntec's being one of the nicer ones because you can see Fountain of Wealth right behind me. So Lanzhou beef noodles is halal certified, and the dish itself is halal. It's beef. Comes from the city of Lanzhou in Gansu province of China, which does have a sizable Muslim population there, the Hui people, I think. And they came up with this dish that is different. So one thing cool that you can find in almost all Tang Tip noodle restaurants in Singapore is the fact that they have this Din Tai Fung style open concept kitchen whereby you can actually see the chefs pulling the noodles and preparing your dishes one by one, which is quite cool. You can actually choose the size of your noodles. They go from Mao Si, which is super duper thin, almost not exactly angel hair, but it's like a third or two-thirds the size of your regular spaghetti. And it goes all the way up to like very thick, as well as interesting shapes like the wider ones or even the super wide. The general rule of thumb is that the noodles are already a bit bitey because of the gluten that you get from stretching the noodles. But the thicker it is, of course, the more bite you're gonna get. I'm feeling adventurous. This is my first time trying it. I actually went for the triangle shape. I don't even know how they pull it to make it that shape. So cool. I feel like I want to try the noodle first before it turns soggy from my yapping. Look at that. Let's go. This is a very, very interesting texture. I quite like it. It looks almost rope-like from at first glance. You know what it reminds me of? The very annoying screwdriver tip that you need to find a very specific screw tip for. But more importantly, what happens is because of the way this is shaped, right? You still get a nice bite in the middle, the core of it, which is thick. But because of the three corners, right? You also have a nice mixture of like the thinner, smoother bite. It's my first time having this. I actually quite like it. I think I found my new go-to. One thing about Lanzhou beef noodles, the soup is prepared with no soy sauce. Very clean, leafy broth. You get a little bit of chili oil mixed around. If you want more, you can always add more. I see some people adding vinegar, chili. Don't let the fact that the soup is clear fool you. Very sweet, a little savory, very, very fragrant. The beefy aroma is beautiful. It's really very comforting. I can imagine enjoying this on a cool, rainy day. Another important aspect of this dish is the white radish. Look how clear and fully cooked it is. It's nice. And the amount of cooking that is done, right, is gone through, has already soaked in some of that beefy broth, while still maintaining a bit of its own flavors. So next would be the beef. I wouldn't say this is main style of the dish. To me, right, the main style is always the soup, is always the freshly made noodles. But the beef is not bad still. Thinly sliced. Every piece has a little bit of that fatty ligament thing, which is nice. Wow, but the noodles, man, star. I think the fact that you're in a shopping mall and for $10.90 here, you can get delicious hand-pulled noodles, freshly made, freshly pulled. That's a good value. Okay, so on a rainy day like this is great because here we are at Xibeixiang. Xibeixiang, which directly translates to Northwest Fragrance. But of course, in the local context, it's damn fragrant lah. Anyways, we are at Arab Street for Xibeixiang, better known as Restaurant Aisha. Restaurant mostly focuses on Xinjiang cuisine, mostly a lot of noodles, a lot of beef, mutton, and expect a lot of heavy spices. Contrasting that to the Lanzhou one we tried the other day, this one is more stronger flavor. So if you like that, actually this is a better option for you. We're actually on the invite lah, so we're trying out some of their signature dishes. I better get the name correct, because the English name very powerful one. Butterfly brisket noodles features the knife cut noodles, Dao Xiao Mian, which gives you a very interesting texture that you don't really get with hand-pulled noodles or spaghetti. Don't think you see that with any other pasta shapes actually. So what they have is that they have that ball of dough, right, and then they start slicing it. Results in a slightly varied texture, thickness, so you got a bit of chewiness and a bit of softness at the side, which also at the same time catches a bit of that soup as you slurp it in. So this is corned beef, if I'm not wrong. See a lot of tendons. But basically it's just that cut that has a lot of tendons inside and it's all fully rendered away. So when you bite into it, everything just melts away.
Yeah. What if you plan it?
Good, very soft. I'm having the melt off the bone mutton noodles with thin noodles. I'm guessing this is maybe the fine one, Si. Looks very spicy actually. I'm not very good with spice.
Yeah, how you describe it as spot on, man. It really does capture the...
Oh, it's nice. Like I swallowed a little bit, then the chili oil just tickles you there.
It's the thing already.
So with the noodles, right, because there's so much chili oil on top, right, I don't think there's any situation whereby you'll be able to separate the noodle from the chili. It's just coating the noodle as you pull it up there. So whatever you do, right, it's always there. Yeah. It's always spicy. Wow, the rain is getting heavier and heavier. I didn't need to put much effort to ripping the meat off. It just splits. Magic. Actually, can I try a little bit of your soup?
Oh yeah, sure do.
Hey, it's different. Soup is different. Yours has a more savory, beefy taste. So when you look at the beef noodles and the mutton noodles, they both look roughly equally red. You would think that it's the same broth, but it's actually slightly different. This one has a more savory, beefy broth, and the mutton one is just straight up spice. I'm assuming my broth is much more heavy because of the mutton to cover the gaminess of it. Tender beef shank noodles with the hand torn noodles, aka mi hung kueh. Let me try this with no interruption. So this one feels like a very chunky version of the Lanzhou ramen. A variety of side dishes, namely the fried dumpling, spicy dumpling, and skewers. Wow, the spice is really...
Went up the nose.
Spicy dumplings.
Well noted.
Hey, the spicy dumplings are nice. I don't think this is beef, but it's a very dense dumpling. The beef dumplings, fried ones.
What the flavor like?
And then the beef dumpling is so different. It's not dense. This one is not dense, even though it's like very tightly packed.
It's just taste. But it's so nice.
Very nicely done. How you feeling? Beefy. I think even now when I'm done with the food, my belly is on fire. It's still warm. So I guess it's great for like a rainy day like this. And mutton, because it's considered more heaty, that also keeps your body warmer longer. Because when you reference the place they came from, it's mostly desert. Can be quite cold at night. So they need that kind of like carb heavy, spice heavy, heaty stuff. So as you can see, I'm back here again. And the reason is because after a little bit of discussion with the guys from the restaurant, I did mention that it was very spicy, and you can see me coughing away the whole time. Like, and the reason why there's no like less spicy, medium spicy, super spicy option is because the broth is cooked in a large pot to ensure a little bit more consistency. But what they did offer, a little customization, if you will, is that you can actually ask the staff to mix in the clear broth to make it less spicy. Okay, this is definitely a lot more manageable. For some reason, it does come out a little bit more muttony now. I'm guessing because of the lack of chili to mask the gaminess of the mutton. But it is still quite enjoyable. It's not as oily now as well. So actually, if you're not great with spice, if you're not great with chili oil, actually you can consider this option. I guess if next time I do eat this again, I'll tell them to just add not too much clear broth. I still kind of like a bit of spice. I recently learned that the famous Mon Chinese beef roti is here in Singapore. For those who've been to KL, they definitely would have seen it before. It's located at the corner of Jalan Alor. Very, very long queue. They've opened a branch, their first branch in Singapore, Vivo City. And to my understanding, I might be wrong, I'm quoting the Halal Food Blog here. They are not Muslim owned and not yet gotten their Halal certification. So as of now, which is January 3rd. If you're lucky, you can actually see the guy rolling and folding the roti. So it's as fresh as can get, and I got mine right out of the oven. Very, very hot. Smells very nice though. Look at the layeredness of it. Very, very crispy. You can see the steam coming off everything. It's crazy then. The exterior is fried so much to the point that it's almost like a shard already. It's very tough. But it shatters away, leaving behind this soft, doughy texture in the middle. If you ask me, it's quite satisfying. So one thing unique I feel, I don't know is it the choice of beef they choose or what, but they're not shy of the flavors of the beef. For those that don't take beef, they actually do have the chicken one, although if you ask me, a little bit skeptical about the chicken one because I feel that beef goes well. It makes sense for this. I think this is my second beef cake that I've had. First one was actually the beef cake that we had in Hong Kong, the Qingzhen 牛肉馆. That one's slightly different in the sense that it's a full pastry, and when you bite into it, right, the juices just flow up. This one doesn't really have that juice per se, but it is equally messy in the sense that when you're biting into it, right, the shards from the crispy pancake just fly everywhere. I take what I said back. It does have a lot of juices, they're all at the bottom, so do be careful once you reach that point because it's gonna get a little bit messy. I have to activate my left hand. I have not tried the one in KL, so I can't really say if it tastes exactly the same or differently. The closest I can draw the line with would be a beef murtabak minus the egg. And then instead of it being presented in a square format, right, they take the dough and then just roll it up into a pancake shape. Honestly, while the taste is great, it's not bad as a snack, as a meal in fact. Kind of left feeling a little bit disappointed with the halal situation because honestly, this is probably one of the few halal mainland Chinese dishes that could have been a hit with the local Muslims, but because it's not enough is being done to assure the local Malays, the local Muslims that, you know, the dish is good to go, it's lacking on the potential reach that it could have been. And in fact, in the long term, if they don't do anything about it, it might cause even more problems for other halal dishes from China that wants to open a branch in Singapore. Well, I'm going to end the video right here. I do want to say that there are still a large number of other halal dishes from China that you can try. while they're not here in Singapore, if you do make a trip down to Malaysia, you might actually find quite a number of it. Stuff like 烤包子, 大盘鸡, and some of the other dishes. In fact, I think KL is doing quite well there. In fact, they even have like a mainland halal Chinese food festival, I believe over the new year as well as the upcoming Chinese New Year. So if you want to try some of it, maybe check it out. If you like the video, consider dropping a like or subscribe. If you have food to recommend, share with me in the comment section below. You can also check out videos here and here. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.